Hi everyone. As you guys know, I wasn't born in UK. I came in UK in late 2000s. I wasn't transitioning at that time. I started transitioning in 2016. I was very young that time when I came. I was in my teens when I came to UK. When I first came, the type of mindset that I had a victimhood mentality in a way because my mind was filled with only one-sided story from the place where I came from. I did not understand the other people, how their mind works, how they behave, how they think actually in the West. It was all alien to me. I was working in a hotel where I was a waiter, and there was one big Christmas ball actually, and it was like an international hotel. So it wasn't like a Desi hotel or something. And we have been told to, if anybody wants to have a drink or something, they will go to the bar and order it for themselves. We're not supposed to take order on the table for drinks. We are supposed to only serve the food because we are only doing catering. I have been given 5 tables on that restaurant, on that place where the ball was happening, and I had to look after them 5 tables. I had too much going on. I had to clear the plates, clear the glasses, everything. So one of the guy who was also the comedian who was supposed to be performing at that bowl to make everyone laugh and all that on the mic, he asked me to bring him some champagne or something, and I said, "Sir, you have to go to the counter to buy it for you." He got upset because I refused to, and my English wasn't that good anyway. So he said like, "Oh, you fat elephant, you this and that," and he did that. And then he held my hand and he took me to the stage, and in front of everyone he announced it on the mic and called me a fat elephant on the mic as well, that this guy refused to bring me a drink, and this fat elephant don't want to move his ass or something like that. That's what he did. So because my English wasn't good, I didn't understand as much. Obviously I understood what fat elephant means, but I didn't understand why is he doing that, why is he being sarcastic, because people were laughing at it. Some people were. And 2 of my colleagues, who was also the supervisors of mine, they came from the kitchen area and then grabbed my hand and they took me back to kitchen away from that crowd in the ballroom. And everybody around me made it like as if I don't know what happened. It was a big issue or something. My manager told me not to go outside for a few minutes and then wait and then go out, whatever. So I stood, I listened to it. I didn't even basically had a clue. I was 19-year-old. I didn't have much clue what was going on around me as much. Obviously it was awkward, but that's all I knew. Because at that time I didn't know the word racism and all that. And later on, where I had to go out to clear the table, I still had to clear the tables that I had been given to, and one of the table belonged to that comedian. Anyway, so I went out to clear the table, and there were plenty of people who apologized to me on that person's behalf. I'm talking about the white people. I'm talking about the Caucasian people who apologized to me on the misbehavior of that particular person who was comedian. And I was like, it's okay, it's all right. I mean, come on, it was a joke, right? So because I did not take it in that sense that it could be because of racism, because of anything else. Maybe it was a joke, If I think about it now, I don't think it was a racism. I think he was just, if it was a guy or if it was a girl from in UK, they probably would know better how to reply back and make the situation in a humorous way so that nobody will feel embarrassed. But because of my quietness, because of my language issue, I couldn't reply back and I couldn't take it into that humorous way. And I was young as well at that time. It made it seem that he was being racist towards me when he wasn't. He was just being funny, maybe, without realizing that he now going to be called racist, basically. And at that time, again, I didn't have a clue why people are giving me special treatment after that, and why they're being so nice to me and apologizing me, because I thought he just joked about it. So why people are apologizing me about that? I was like, no, it's okay, don't worry. So anyway, that happened. Then there was another situation when I was going in a public transport in a bus to catch a bus, and I was with my mum. So again, it was the same time when I was 19, when I first came to UK. and I was using public transport. And as soon as I entered the bus, there was one crackhead, basically. You can call him homeless, crackhead, whatever. That guy, he, as soon as I like enter the bus, he was just coming out of the bus, and he spit on my face. It was just here, and I felt disgusted, and I pushed him away from me a little bit because he was so close, and he spit on my face and started pretending as if he's gonna be coughing or something. Obviously you can tell, so I pushed him and I shouted at him. The bus driver saw me and he was upset because he thought I was just pushing him for no reason, but I pushed him because he spitted on me and he was so close to me, to get him off from me, you know. There were incidents like these that happened to me. And I'm not mentioning about transphobia or any other incidents that have happened. These were the incidents that happened when I was new to UK. And, you know, there were times when some of my colleagues who were also teenagers, who were trying to make fun of me, my accent, tried to make fun of, you know, someone called me that I came from Banana Boat. And I used to never take it too seriously because I thought, you know what, it's just fun and games. Maybe if I was just wishing that maybe if I'll improve my language, if I learn English properly, then I would be able to reply them back properly, so that, you know, the situation wouldn't become that serious. Because instant thought that was coming in my mind after all these incidents, I know these are small incidents, but instant thought that came in my mind, that is that I don't want to be looked like or perceived as a victim. I want to be perceived as somebody who can laugh at these situations, deal with these situations. You know, I had maybe a male pride at that time as well. And I wasn't a weak person. I'm never a weak person. My problem was my language, because I couldn't talk properly in English. So I couldn't reply back. And that was the thing that was holding me back, because people were thinking I have no potential. I had potential to humor, to reply back, but because of the language, it was holding me so much back, and I chose to stay quiet because of those reasons. And a lot of people either misjudged me or treated me as if I am, you know, a sly, I'm being quiet, or I'm a victim, whatever. But I wasn't. I was just trying to live my life, basically. This is about 2014, 13 and 14. Yeah, it was around that time, 2013 or 2014, when 3 guys have entered the hotel. I was about to finish my bar shift. That time I started working in a bar, so I learned how to work in a bar. Before, I had this stigma that I'm not supposed to work in a bar because they sell alcohol, and because of my religious background, I couldn't work where the alcohol exists, you know. But I wanted to learn, and I wanted to integrate into the society and to work like everyone else, rather than giving special treatment that I can't work certain time or certain place. Because if I work in a hotel, I wanted to learn about everything in a hotel. Because there were some incidents where someone asked me, do you have Jack Daniel? And I went to reception area to ask them, do we have Mr. Jack Daniel staying in the house? And they told me it's a drink they were asking, not somebody who's staying in the hotel. So, you know, situations like these. So I wanted to make sure that I learn everything about everything in a place where I work. So I was working in a bar, I learned about bar, the drinks and everything, and I was supposed to finish my shift at 11 p.m. And I was about to finish my shift. I give a handover to reception every night after counting the till and everything. And when I went to the till to give the handover, so these 3 guys who entered the hotel, they were a bit drunk. 2 of them were tall, one of them looked like same age as I was, and we had a Chinese hotel next door to ours, Chinese restaurant next to ours. So what they did was they entered the hotel, then from there, from the fire door area, they were trying to go and break into the Chinese restaurant, which was also closed at that time because it was 11 p.m. So the manager of mine, the reception manager, which was again the white guy, I think he was in his 60s. He sent a night porter, because night porter just started his shift. He sent a night porter to get those guys out of the hotel because they were trying to break into Chinese from our fire exit area. And this guy, the night porter guy, I'm 5'7" height, by the way. Okay, so this guy, he was white again. His name was, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was like this height of to me, so he was like 5'5" or something, and he was skinny dude. He was very nice, smiley guy, not very bright, I guess, but he was a night porter, and the manager guy told him to go and get those people out, and I can see the fear on his face because he didn't want to confront anyone. Basically, he was that type of a guy. And so first he still listened to the night manager. He went to get those guys out. I was about to sign out and I have given my handover. I have also signed out. When I came down after signing out, because the sign out machine was on the different floors, I came down, I shut the bar, everything. I was about to go home, to call the taxi and go home. Like, I asked manager, has that guy, the night porter, has he returned yet? And he didn't care. I mean, he was so chilled. He was like, no, he didn't care. He did not come yet. I was like, okay, do you want me to have a look where he is? I mean, because I was worried for him. It has been good 15 minutes or something, and he hasn't returned yet after calling those guys or telling those guys to get out, and those guys were still there. They were not out yet. And this night manager, who's supposed to be responsible for the safety of the hotel and us, he was just chilled, sitting there. So I was worried for him, so I went there and I saw those two of those big guys, the one out of those three, they were holding him close to the wall where the cutlery, the knife, forks, steak knives, everything was there, by the way, and they were holding him against the wall while that guy was politely saying, oh, sorry, you can't go in there and stuff like that. And I felt like, what is happening here? So I called his name. I said, look, you need to come out. The manager needs you. Those guys saw me that, I was checking up on him as well. So they kind of ungrabbed him, and he was about to leave to the night manager. Now, when he left to the night manager, I walked with him, and we came to reception. Both of us, we came to reception, and that guy told night manager, look, those guys are not listening. They're being violent, and they're not listening. So the manager asked that guy, by the way, asked the night porter guy again, and told the night porter guy to tell those guys to leave, otherwise we're gonna call the police. What an dimwit. I mean, I can't even swear because this is a YouTube video, but I really want to right now. He told the night porter to go back to them and tell them that if they will refuse to go out, then we will call the police. And that silly night porter did just that. He listened to the night manager. He went back to them and told them, when he knew that he was in danger, what happened to him last time when he went towards them. And now this time he went back to them and said, we're gonna have to call the police if you don't leave. And again, what happened then? He got grabbed again. So I was there seeing all this. But with this place where they were, it was a bit away from, the reception area, but not too much away from it. And there was no camera there. So I tried to divert them and try to grab him away from them. And we were walking towards the reception area. So, at least there are cameras there. So these guys will be scared of camera at least. And the bar area used to come in the middle of that area. There were three women who were still sitting in the bar area, even though bar was closed. They were still finishing their drinks. They were sitting in the bar area. They were hotel guests. So I had a worry that, if this situation escalate, these ladies will, be at risk as well, because those guys are drunk and I don't know if they will misbehave with anyone or not. And they're already misbehaving with my colleague, and they were being racist or racial towards me. They were calling me Paki. They were calling me, go back to whatever, the usual stuff, because I was trying to get my colleague out away from them, and I was trying to keep myself distant. So because I was like in the middle of all this, trying to protect them from going towards the ladies area, and between me and my colleague. So I was trying to get him back of mine so I can protect him in a way that they don't hit him, because he was a very delicate guy, basically, So when we reached towards, like when those guys and us, when we reached towards the bar area, obviously the bar was visible from the reception area and from the camera area. So I could see my manager, and my manager was still chilled, was sitting there, worried if they're not gonna come to him, basically. And I was worried, like, I really hoped that he would have called the police, but he hasn't. So I was doing this, call the police. In front of them, I had no choice. I can't call it because it could, encourage them to get violent. So I had to just do this towards facing towards my manager at reception to, call the police at least. So he could call the police. Anyway, when I did this night manager guy, he went towards the back room. There was a back room at reception area, and then he tried to ring or dial the police number to call the police. So he started ringing the police from the back door, and he was just hiding from the back door and looking, like peeking through the back door while on the phone with police, that no one comes towards him. So they were almost about to reception area now, these guys, because they were following us the way we were going, and I was trying to manage to keeping the night porter guy away from them. And while I was concentrating on that guy and the ladies to make them feel safe and protect them away from these guys, while I was looking at the other two guys, this guy who was younger than those two, who was around my age, he actually punched. All of a sudden, he just punched on my eye, and that was my left eye. He punched on my left eye, and it was all of a sudden, I couldn't see anything. I was still standing there. I felt like, I just didn't know what actually happened because he punched so quickly on my eye. I couldn't see from my eye. I had a blurry vision. All of a sudden I had a blurry vision. My mind goes numb for a second. And I was still stood there holding my eye like this. And I was still trying to concentrate on, get him out, or go away from him, or, I was trying to do this. So when that guy saw that I was bleeding from my eye and my eye got completely black, that guy, the one who punched me, he ran away. And the other two guys, they followed him, and now they went outside. They were gone now because police was called already, and I got punched. So they were naturally scared now. They had to leave, so they left. Anyway, sometime later, police come. One of the police guy told me that it's good that you did not hit him back, because if you would have hit him back, then we would have to arrest you for it. Can you imagine, like, somebody who got punched in their eye, and the police guy who's actually writing the note from all this, and he's saying, oh, it's good that you did not punch him back. How comfortable that sounds. So he said that. I didn't know what to say, to be honest. More than anybody else, I was upset with the manager because he took so long to call the police. If he did not have guts to directly confront those guys, because he was a tall gentleman, he was 60-year-old, he was tall, he was older, probably they would have listened to him. He was an English dude, basically. But he didn't do anything about it. He was taking the situation so lightly when everything was his responsibility to look after. All he had to do is call the police on right time. When the guy was telling him the first time, when the night porter guy went to get those guys out of the hotel, and when he came back after being, grabbed by them, when he told them that they were being, ridiculous, they were trying to swear at him, they were trying to take him to the corner, blah, blah, blah. And then the manager guy, he sent that night porter back to them and told them to tell them that, no, if they refuse to go out, they will have to call the police. Why would you risk yourself and that person and the people, the guests, who were ladies sitting in the bar area, when there were obviously blatantly three tall gentlemen? Two of them were really big, muscular guys, strong guys, basically. So, and he only called the police when I did this. He wasn't calling the police otherwise. And if I wouldn't have done this, he wouldn't be even calling the police, no matter if we are getting attacked or whatever. So for him, it's chill time, basically. It's laugh and games. And by the way, when I got punched on my eye, that night manager guy, he was laughing. He thought it was funny that I got punched in my eye. I couldn't even see from my eye. And for him, it was funny. And it was all recorded on camera, by the way. Even police can see it. So anyway, the police asked me to go to the hospital. At first, I refused. But then I thought, it's my eye. I can't take the risk. So I had to go to the hospital. The police dropped me to the hospital in their van. And I had to tell this guy that I'm going to police. I have to go to with the police to hospital. Anyway, it was about by that time, by all this time when this happened, it was around 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. So it took some time to get the police to come there and to sort out all the situation. It took around 1 to 2 a.m. So I was in the hospital. And as you know, NHS, the list for getting treated is so long. So I was waiting there at NHS for about 3 hours, at least 3 to 4 hours, because it was around that time. So I was holding my eye. I was sitting there in A&E for that long, and they saw me. They put some drops in my eyes. They said, look, they have taken some tests, but obviously I can't see right now. They have given me some tube, but maybe they will tell later for the reports, whatever is going to happen. But at the moment, they can only give me some tube for my eyes, basically, because I can't see from that eye. So once I released from the hospital, it was around 5 a.m. in the morning, because it was still dark outside. It was winter time. So I did not even have money to, get back to hotel or to my home from hospital. So I had to walk towards my workplace, the hotel, to go to hotel and get a taxi, basically, because my house was too far away from that place. But hotel was about 20 minutes walk away from the hospital. But my home would have been about an hour away, and at that time I did not want to walk for an hour to my home and get attacked again. So I went to my hotel to get a taxi. So I went back to the hotel and I had to ask this guy, and he was surprised, like, "Oh, you're still there? You were still there?" Instead of asking me like, how you gonna go home, blah blah blah. No. So I said to him that, can I just get a taxi docket, because there were taxi dockets from a hotel that they give to people who stay a bit late in hotel, the staff I'm talking about. And so I asked him if I can get a taxi docket. Probably I'll return the money later. So he gave me taxi docket, and I used that docket to go home. I did not even tell my parents at night time. I did not want to worry them. And next day, I told my parents, maybe I have, I'm catching, like, there's an eye disease that I probably have caught or something. And the next day, I was still working. I was on the rota. I was not let off from the rota. I was still working. So I went back to work in the bar. I couldn't see from this eye. So I was only seeing from this eye, and I was working there in the bar. The next day, everybody was asking me what happened. And that guy was just like, he was bragging about it as if nothing has happened. And he was just, it was all fun and games for him. Oh, I got punched, yay. It was like that. And for me, like, at that time, because I was, again, I'm saying, I come from a culture or from a background where people take these things seriously. We're not used to. I've never been punched in my life before this. This was the first time I'd actually been confronted like that, being punched in my eye like that. I thought I'm going to lose my eye, So I come from that type of background where I never faced this type of problem. I never faced this type of bullies or something like that. So it was all new to me. A lot of people, when they come to these countries, when they are new, a lot of time, because of the language issues or because of the different culture, which is different to understand, a lot of people can take it as a race issue, and they develop this victim mentality. Not everybody is going to be trying to make the situation light when they see this type of attitude from certain people. So my point is that when certain things happen to people in different cultures, different places, where they think they cannot connect with people, maybe because of language, maybe because of the humor, the jokes, the attitude of people, which is not similar to the attitude they get from their own place, they get skeptic. Is it racism, or is it actually they have to deal with some bad people maybe? What was it? I can imagine why people develop victimhood mentality sometimes, and then people say, oh, you're being sensitive about it. But a lot of people are not used to it. Just because I came from places in South Asia, which is not considered like as developed as Western countries, People used to think I came from a village or something, when I never came from a village. I had a good upbringing. I lived in Dubai. I was from the South Asian part. I was from like upper middle class family. So I wasn't like, living in those villages. I was living in good areas where I had all the facilities. When I came to UK, I came because my father used to work here, and he worked here as skilled migrant. So, and legal skilled migrant. He paid a lot of money to come here, to work here, to pay a lot of taxes, to pay a lot of money to bring us here as well, because we used to move with him wherever he used to work. So he used to work in Dubai. We used to live with him in Dubai. He used to work in Abu Dhabi. We used to live with him in Abu Dhabi. So I studied in different places throughout my life. I have been changing schools because of his work situation. So I have always seen a developed countries. I have never faced this type of problems before, and this was all new to me. And this was like very strange that not what I used to think of a Western culture or Western society. I never thought Western society would be like this, to be honest. But I was still fairly new at that time. I was still learning about different culture. I was still learning about how UK society is and how people live in UK and stuff, although it was later on I realized that not everywhere in UK was like this. It depends also which city you are in UK, which city you are in Western world, because just like in my country, not every area is like same area. Not every area is safe. Not every area is well developed. Similarly, not every area in UK, Europe or America is safe for everyone, or not every area is very welcoming. There are certain areas which are a bit more rough areas, and certain areas that are better for quality of life. So I learned all this later on, but not at the time when I was still new here and trying to live my life my way. And the point of telling you all these stories, I have been living in UK now for I think 15 years, 16 years, and it took me some time to finally understand how UK life works and how people live in UK. And what I've realized about UK, it's not a racist country. Most people are not racist. Most people are not racist. Maybe 1% or something, 2% people. But I have seen the maximum amount of people who actually treat you so nicely. They're so welcoming. They genuinely care for you. I mean, the quality of human life, the way my teacher used to treat me, the way my other colleagues treated me, and they inquired about me, and they were friendly with me. And they, when I first started my transition and my colleague found out, they did not tell me that they found out my YouTube channel, that I'm transitioning, but they actually started being so nice to me, and the way they welcomed me, and the way I felt safe later on to distinguish which are the good people, which are not so good people, which are maybe a bit silly people maybe. So I learned all these later on. I just want to say to those people who think that people are being racist and the Western world is like this, don't categorize the whole Western world like this. Not everybody who's talking about, who has a certain far right ideology or right ideology basically, is a far right person or is a racist person. It's not the case. Most people who have a strong mindset is maybe because of the type of area they live in, the type of things they have gone through, the type of incidents that have happened to them in their life that have turned them into this. Or maybe they did not have as much interaction with different people, or maybe they did not have the interaction with the right sort of people. Mostly they have interacted with the wrong sort of people from our community or from any other community, so that has given them the type of wrong impression, and that's why they have developed that sort of mindset. Because I can imagine, like, if it was someone else instead of me, probably they would have thought that, oh, the whole West world is like that, and forget about everyone else around them, the 90% of people around them who were so nice and welcoming to them. For example, when that comedian made fun of me, there were plenty of people who apologized on behalf of that comedian, and they were so nice to me, So I can imagine, like, maybe there will be one or two bad people, but then there will be thousands of good people who will be good with you, who will see the right and wrong, and they will not try to make fun of you. And same thing happens to now in our community as well. After like 15 years, I've realized things have gone completely different. I wanted my country people Asian people in the parliament, in good positions, in good places, as doctors, as engineers, as politicians, so that people would know that we are skilled people. We can be respected. We are not all about living in villages and having that orthodox culture basically, and we are civilized people. I wanted to tell this to society, and I wish for it. But now, after 15 years of living in UK, things have changed so drastically. I'm so surprised how the things are taking turn. I was so happy a few years ago when I was seeing that more and more doctors are coming and more skilled people were coming. But then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. People started bringing illegal migrants, unfortunately, from boats, from different places, and most of these people had, totally different culture, totally different people. They don't even have education and stuff. And I feel sorry for those people who have invested their life to get right sort of degree and right sort of qualification to to have a good life, basically, to build a good life for them. And the West is not as welcoming now for those people, but the type of people who are now getting welcomed in the Western society is the ones who are crossing in boats, basically, especially the young men or single men, basically, mostly, who are staying in hotels, not paying any taxes, and don't know what to do in life. Basically, they're just here to do small jobs and getting benefits from government. Every week they get paid from government. They don't have to pay for their rent. They don't have to pay for electricity or anything because they're living in hotels provided by government. They are secure because the place they live, they have their own security, where normal people, whether it's white people, whether it's brown people, whoever we are, if we are just like here, either skilled migrant, or if somebody's local over here, they all have to pay their taxes. They all have to deal with wrong sort of people in society, in the world outside, and they have to pay their bills. They have to pay for the expensive taxes and everything. They have to wait in queues for NHS, when the other people who haven't done anything for this country is getting everything. I'm talking about everyone is now going against everyone in terms of their skin color, the type of people who they like, what god they believe in, basically, or what skin color they have, or what sort of culture they come from, or what country they come from. People are getting against people on terms of that because of certain individuals who are welcomed here in boats, basically. And the problem is, this is all happening because certain people in higher positions letting it happen. So instead of people focusing on fighting with each other and losing their life or getting hurt, why don't they just do protest among those people who are making these decisions? Why can't we sue those judges who are making those decisions, those MPs there who are making these decisions, those people in parliament who are making these decisions, rather than fighting with each other? Because nothing is going to happen if your government, if your parliament system is strong enough and there are no traitors inside it, to be honest. But if the base parliament is weak, then unfortunately people will suffer from it, and you will be just fighting among each other. So if people want to channel their anger out, they should channel their anger out on the right source, rather than fighting among each other to make more differences among each other and judge each other. And by making this video, my point was, not everyone is racist. Mostly when people are behaving silly or in a angry way, it's not because they are racist. It's because they have been suffering from by the hand of that system, who's allowing them to be vulnerable in their own community, in their own place, where they supposed to be protected, but unfortunately they are suffering. And that's why people are having these extreme thoughts sometimes. And what we have to realize in this situation is to see the balance and to see where we can channel this anger and where we cannot channel this anger, and make sure not to hold everyone accountable for the demise of the Western society. It's because not everybody is bad, not everybody is doing this, regardless of their color, religion, culture. People can be civilized. If you just need to treat individuals as they are, rather than holding whole community accountable for everything that is going around you on the basis of their skin color and culture or religion. And same thing I'm gonna say to my own community. It's not everybody's bad, not everybody's against you, but you can put yourself in their shoe as well. That if you come in someone's house unwantingly, that person can react a particular way. And the problem with this society now in Western culture, that it's not their choice to open the door and welcome those people. It's actually the people in power who are doing this. And unfortunately, the type of people they're welcoming, some of those illegal ones, they are committing the sort of crimes where their kids don't feel safe. They have a responsibility towards their own family, to protect their own family, and it comes out as anger because they don't know what to do about it. So anyway, understand each other and just start talking about it more often. Everyone, look after yourselves, be safe, and don't be bitter by everything around you, and just think logically. Thank you. Bye.